The questions started getting harder as she ventured onto 60 Minutes, Fox News, and a town hall with CNN. Risky moves chosen because very clearly her internal polling was showing her losing, and she had to do something. Each of these interviewers zeroed in on our disastrous border, asking why old John Wayne there did nothing to fix it, notwithstanding her status prosecuting transnational gangs in a border state, nearly 4 years in office, absolutely nothing. She would say that she supported that crappy border bill that came very late in their term, but when pressed on why she did nothing for 3+ years, we got drivel like this.
Some voters, though, might ask, you've been in the White House for 4 years, you were vice president, not the president, but why wasn't any of that done for the last 4 years?
Well, there was a lot that was done, but there's more to do, Anderson. And I'm pointing out things that need to be done, that haven't been done, but need to be done.
It's like, is there a better Kamala Harris soundbite that sums up the problems of her candidacy? Like, I'm waiting. Is there? You can email me, Megyn at megynkelly.com. Like, you got a candidate? I put that up against anything. It became very clear this woman did not have policies, did not have a plan, a message, or any charm for voters to connect to. That she knew neither what to say nor in which accent to say it.
Have you no empathy, man?
Yes.
You know, for the suffering of other people. Have you no sense of purpose?
You better thank a union member for sick leave. You better thank a union member for paid leave. You better thank a union member for vacation time. You all helped us win in 2020, and we're going to do it again in 2024. Hello to all my divine nine brothers and sisters. And my soror.
This is a margin of error race. It's tight. I'm going to win. I'm going to win. But it's tight.
Weeping may endure for a night, but joy cometh in the morning. The path may seem hard, the work may seem heavy, but joy cometh in the morning, and church morning is on its way.
I'm going to win. You better believe it, my soror. So absurd. What an absurd person. She went on Howard Stern and made zero news. She went on a smutty sex podcast where they normally talk about dildos. That interview currently has less than 900,000 views. It was all about abortion, Harris's very favorite subject, and a big favorite of the sex podcasters, shocking, too. It never heated up, there was no climax, and to no one's surprise, no afterglow. The 60 Minutes interview went so poorly that the news team over there may never recover. Instead of showing us what really happened, they covered for her, shortening her indecipherable answers to make them less word salady, and they got caught. Remember, they got caught. The American public demanded that 60 release the full unedited transcript so we could see just how badly she had mangled her exchanges, and CBS refused to do it, destroying viewers' trust and CBS's credibility. She sat with Oprah Winfrey in what had to be the most insufferable interview of the campaign. In fairness, this one was due not to Harris so much, but to the sycophant Hollywood types literally surrounding her. Turns out many actors are not so good when they do not have a talented screenwriter, director, and editor helping them out.
Hello, President Harris.
Oh. Yeah.
Where are you, Jennifer? Yes! I want to bring my daughters to the White House to meet this black woman president. That's a reason. That's a reason. That's a reason.
This has become such a global representation of our country and what we stand for. And I get to travel internationally a lot. And
You're so
I
important.
want people to say, oh, you're American? And not, oh, how's it going over there?
I think you're going to win.
Okay, Jeffrey Dahmer.
I'm sure you're going to win. I
Oh, Meryl. Wrong again.
think. But what happens when you win? And he doesn't accept it.
I guess we'll never know. And then there was Oprah, who decided to switch up her acting routine from that terrible Meghan Markle interview. Remember? What? Wait, what? They wanted to know how dark your baby was going to be? From merely overly dramatic and fake to full-on Sam Kinison.
How about filling us in as to what the fuck it is? We'll do it if we know what it is. Put a helmet on that soldier. Put a helmet on him.
No, actually, watch.
Thanks for joining us for this very special event, Unite for America! Where are you? Chris Rock is in the house. Jennifer Lopez! Where are you, Jennifer? Yes! Julia Roberts, where are you? And Miss Meryl Streep is in the house. Please welcome Kamala Harris!
Does she live with the hearing impaired? Next to a leaf blower factory? Did she attend too many Metallica concerts as a young person? Why was she yelling at us? Amazingly, you're going to be shocked to learn the yelling did not move the needle in the polls. Did not help. So Harris moved on to real celebrities. Got the endorsements from Taylor Swift, Megan Thee Stallion, Cardi B. Just as Mark Cuban was lecturing us that the sexist jerk Trump never surrounds himself with strong, intelligent women, Harris has Cardi B show up at a rally and endorse her. Cardi B, who once tweeted, "I wonder how pee tastes like." Amazingly, no bounce. Mark Rachel Maddow Cuban, he endorsed Bradley Whitford, Leonardo DiCaprio, Robert De Niro, Julia Roberts, George Clooney, Beyonce. Not one of them got her a bounce. They all failed miserably. No one moved the needle because they have no influence. None in this lane. Zero. Not Bill Clinton, not Barack, not Michelle. No one improved her numbers. Meanwhile, the press sneered and laughed at Trump's Hulk Hogan, Dana White, Kid Rock, and Dennis Quaid endorsements. All of these guys, beloved by working class Americans, all of them spoke for Trump with humor, fun, kindness, and relatability. None overacted. Looking at you, J-Lo.
We should be emotional. We should be upset. We should be scared and outraged. We should. Our pain matters. We matter. You matter. Your voice and your vote matters. And look, don't be afraid to make people around you uncomfortable.
I'm uncomfortable watching that fake acting. The press made fun of the Trump guys. They mocked them because they and the liberal elite in the Democrat Party really do hate the right half of the country. They hate them. They agreed with Hillary on deplorables, with Barack on bitter clingers. They saw no problem with Joe Biden calling Trump supporters garbage or with Tim Walz calling them Nazis. This is why they won't have Thanksgiving with us now. We voted for Hitler, so it's done. In the waning days of the campaign, the New York Times and the Atlantic trotted out John Kelly, who now, for the first time on the record and in his own voice, called Trump a fascist. Oh, fascist porn. Stop the presses. It was a claim that Harris agreed with on CNN.
You've quoted General Milley calling Donald Trump a fascist. You yourself have not used that word to describe him. Let me ask you tonight, do you think Donald Trump is a fascist?
Yes, I do. Yes, I do.
Game changer or not. Liz Cheney, who's never been the answer to anyone's problems, became a fixture on the campaign trail with Harris. To whom does she appeal again? Exactly. The lying ramped up as virtually everyone in media and on Team Harris called Trump the fascist word, called him a white supremacist, a white nationalist, a Nazi, and so on. That pause in Hitler comparisons after Trump was shot in the head lasted about 2 minutes, and then they went right back to it. The good people on both sides lie resurfaced, from Barack Obama no less. Harris and Walz peddled it too. The bloodbath lie, the dictator lie, people pretending to be journalists, hysterical on the air, saying women will die if Trump is reelected, like Mika Brzezinski.
We are fighting 24/7. We're in crisis. These are the final hours. We need you. We need you, and all of you to vote. Yep. This is the moment, and we won't have it again. This is the final hour for women. Trump's America for women is happening now, and it's a nightmare. This is the future that we're looking at. He is killing us. I'm talking about us women. He's killing us.
Wow. You see, the left, Mika, they're all about women's rights. Except when it comes to the nanny, first gentleman wannabe, Doug Emhoff, allegedly cheated with on his first wife behind her back and then impregnated and then allegedly did something to her that caused her to lose the pregnancy. So reports the Daily Mail. He denied it, but he admitted the affair. Or when it comes to the ex-girlfriend he beat, he denied it. She came out in the Daily Mail and gave a first-person account with witnesses. Or when it comes to Laken Riley and others like her, who get killed in the prime of their life by illegals from Venezuela. Or when it comes to Peyton McNabb and girls like her, who get traumatic brain injuries from trans players. Would you just be nice and be tolerant and let them play and shut your girl up if she doesn't like it? It's too bad she has to be paralyzed. Be kind. The Chloe Coles, who have their breasts chopped off by radical trans activist doctors who look at her like a payday. She'll be in the system for life. Mika cares deeply about women like that. On those women, the truth is the left has nothing to say other than to shame them into silence. Harris and team reportedly realized that the Trump ad on the trans issue was crushing her. Bill Clinton urged her to respond. Oh, Bubba knows an actual controversy when he sees one. She didn't listen. Reportedly, they cut a few responsive ads, but nothing resonated with the audience before whom they tested it. And instead of innovating, they abandoned the fight. Honestly, what could they say? It was true, and she still believes in that radicalism and was too afraid of her left flank to say otherwise. Harris skipped the traditional and beloved Al Smith dinner in New York before a host of prominent American Catholics. The last presidential candidate to do so was Walter Mondale, and we all know how that wound up. She snubbed Joe Rogan, too, who offered her an opportunity before his enormous audience, saying she was too busy. She was too busy. But there's a report. Here again, she was afraid of alienating her leftist base. Trump accepted the Rogan invitation. Joe Rogan, who at least 4 years ago voted for Bernie Sanders, but Trump went there anyway. And that interview has since gotten over 50 million views and landed in a Rogan endorsement. Kamala did SNL, which ended with a thud. She got the New York Times to print a bunch of nonsense about women voters flocking to the polls in early voting in Pennsylvania. Ann Seltzer of Iowa tried to throw a lifeline with a bullshit poll driven by dreams, not data. Alan Lichtman, the so-called Nostradamus of presidential predictions, embarrassed himself and later blamed sexism and racism for his faulty predictions about what Americans would do. And American voters who had been lied to, dodged, insulted, and manipulated by a terrified campaign and a dishonest, complicit media headed to the polls in droves. Young, old, white, black, Latino, Asian, Jewish, Muslim, male, and female. They saw right through the BS and the spin, the dire warnings and the drama, the horrific warnings and the catastrophizing, and did the most extraordinary thing. They pulled the lever for Donald J. Trump. He won because inflation is really hurting people. He won because the open border is costing American lives. He won because the trans insanity has gone too far. He won because Americans trust him to break up a system that has been working against them. Because he has a sense of humor. Because he's self-deprecating. Because he went to McDonald's and drove a garbage truck. Because he's strong to the point of being nearly superhuman. Because he never gave up, despite all the lawfare. Because he faced down a bullet and said, fight, 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 while still bleeding. And he won because he ran against a uniquely terrible opponent, whether the media will be honest about her or not. An empty-headed know-nothing, an actress who should never have been a senator or vice president, who failed upward to enormous power, and who should exit the national scene in January, understanding her hubris and lack of self-awareness cost her party everything. Thanks so much for watching. If you like what you just saw, hit the subscribe button for more clips and full episodes.